Deep inside you, beyond all the noise and labels the world gives, there's a quiet and powerful intelligence waiting. It's your inner doctor. It doesn't need any tools or prescriptions, just your focus, your belief, and your voice. This isn't an audiobook about outside solutions. It's all about awakening the force within you. According to Joseph Murphy, this force can heal, renew, and harmonize your entire body. Your body isn't your enemy. It's a partner, a perfect messenger that communicates through symptoms and heals quietly when you address it with love, certainty, and honesty. Get ready for a profound journey. You'll discover how to tune in to your body's gentle signals, talk to every cell, and turn your thoughts into healing energy. This is a journey of self-discovery, filled with conscious miracles, where the unseen becomes real and the impossible feels ordinary. Your mind is the key. Your words are the pathway, and your belief is the flame that brings healing. Embrace this ancient wisdom wrapped in spiritual science. Start now. Talk to your body and heal. This book isn't about entertaining you. It's about waking up the healer inside you. The pages aren't filled with theories or empty words. They offer you steps to activate a wisdom that's already within you, even if you've overlooked it. This wisdom is in your cells, your organs, your heart. Your body isn't failing you. It's responding to the signals you've unknowingly given it for years, through your thoughts, words, and beliefs. This journey aims to show you how to change those inner messages and create new patterns of health and renewal from the core of your consciousness. Forget about the labels you've been given or how long you've felt limited. What really matters is that starting today, you'll learn to communicate directly with your organs and cells, not in a vague or poetic way, but with clarity and method. You'll plant healing words in your subconscious, just like you would plant seeds in a garden, and watch health flourish where once there was only pain. Every chapter invites you to have a conversation with different parts of yourself, parts that are not forgotten but obedient, ready to respond. Your body is always waiting for new directions, and you have the power to provide them. The body listens, remembers, and it can even forgive. If you read this book with the same focus you've had on your symptoms, something within you will begin to shift. This isn't just another book. It's a link between your spirit and your body, and you're about to step across it. Talk to your body and heal. We've noticed that over 80% of the folks who check out our channel haven't subscribed yet. You can help us keep this project going by hitting the subscribe button and liking the video. Thanks for motivating us to create more amazing content for you. Ready to change your life? Let's think about your body as a student. Every part of it has the ability to learn. This idea might sound like fancy talk, but it's a real fact about your inner self. Your cells don't just react to chemicals or electrical signals. They respond to your thoughts, not like a human trying to reason, but in a direct, vibrational way. Your entire body is like a quiet classroom, with your mind as the only teacher. Every time you repeat a thought, you make it stronger. Every time you feel an emotion, you embed it deeper. And each time you speak, you're giving orders that your organs hear, learn from, and act upon. This isn't some superstition. It's the law of the mind in action. Take Mr. Martinez, for example. He was a mechanic whose back had taken a serious beating from lifting heavy parts. The doctors said he had chronic back pain and that he might need surgery, which he wanted to avoid. He just wanted to feel free to move again. When I told him his spine could learn a new way to function, he looked skeptical. I asked him to think about it. If our minds can create ulcers, sweating, or even make our hearts race, then surely they can also bring about order, peace, and flexibility. If our cells react to stress like they're getting harsh commands, they can also respond positively to words of calm, as if they're learning from a caring teacher. I suggested a simple daily routine. Lying on his back before bed, and as soon as he woke up, he should place a hand on his lower back and calmly repeat, "Spine. Learn to be flexible. I'm with you. I lighten your load. I bless you. Let go and find peace." He did this for 40 nights straight. By the end, his pain was just a faint memory, and his flexibility came back. It wasn't a magical fix, but rather a re-education of his tissues. Many people wonder, how can an organ learn if it doesn't actually think? The answer is fairly simple. The subconscious, which controls all those automatic body functions, knows what it's doing. It doesn't overthink things. It doesn't compare or analyze, it just obeys. When you say, "This breaks my heart," the body takes that as a command. When you wake up every day saying, "I'm sick of this," your stomach takes it seriously. If you keep insisting, "Stress is killing me," your heart starts to believe that too. But when you say, "I am the life of God flowing freely," you're sending a strong message. When you affirm that every cell in your body vibrates with perfect health, the subconscious takes those words as instructions for change. That's what we call mental law. What you accept in your conscious mind, when you repeat it with faith and feeling, settles in the subconscious and eventually becomes your reality. This might sound new, but it's been around since ancient times. In Proverbs it says, "My son, pay attention to my words. Keep them close, for they bring life and health." Notice how it connects words to healing and focus to life. It doesn't say to visit a herbalist or temple. It says to pay attention to the words. This isn't just a metaphor. It's clear advice on how language creates reality. Just like you patiently teach a child to walk, you can teach your liver to heal, your muscles to tone up, and your pancreas to function without fear. You speak and your body listens. You think and it reacts. It may not respond right away because the body doesn't have the same timeline as your mind, but it will respond like planting a seed. You sow, then wait and trust that growth will come. The real issue for many today isn't a lack of faith, it's misplaced faith. They tend to believe more in illness than in life. Every winter I find myself getting sick, just like him. He forgets that his words hold power over his subconscious, which manages the body. Whatever we command, it acts on. Change the command and the outcome shifts. I once met a woman with arthritis in her hands. She was upset because she couldn't sew, cook, or even hold a cup without pain. I asked her what she said about her hands. Without thinking, she said, "They're my old, useless hands." I encouraged her to switch up her language. I told her to bless her hands, to think of them as young, soft, and obedient. I gave her a simple prayer. "My hands are the hands of God. They follow divine intelligence. They are agile, strong, and joyful." I told her to repeat this for 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes at night while holding a glass of water. After 40 days, she noticed her movement had improved a lot, and by 90 days, she was back to her usual activities. The shift was deep, but it all started with the words she chose. This isn't about ignoring symptoms. It's not about pretending you're fine when you're not. It's about realizing that your body is always listening. Like a good student, it will follow what its teacher says. If you tell it you're useless, it might give up. But if you say, "I am life within you," the body reacts with energy. Your organs aren't just lumps of flesh, they're tuned to your mental state. Your pancreas isn't just there, it responds to your mindset. Your heart doesn't beat randomly, it syncs with how you see life. If you face constant setbacks, it beats harshly. But if joy fills your life, it dances peacefully. So what are you teaching your body today? Many find this idea odd because they believe the body and soul are separate. But there's no true division. They are different forms of the same energy. Thoughts are light, while muscles are dense. What you think subtly will show up in your physical existence. Ancient sages knew this, and modern physics backs it up. Every organ vibrates, every cell shines with light, each tissue carries memory, and that memory can be cleansed and nourished if you change the thoughts that support it. It's not enough to just say things mindlessly. They need to be felt, believed, and cherished. Just like a farmer who doesn't toss wheat into the wind and hope for a harvest, you can't just throw words out without believing in them and expect to heal. Your words need to be planted with purpose, nurtured by your feelings, and backed by strong belief. Your body doesn't respond to empty words. It reacts to what you truly feel. That's why Jesus said, "When you pray, believe you have already received it, and it will be yours." He didn't say, "Wait for it to happen someday." He said to believe right now. That moment is where everything begins. Your body, my friend, is not doomed. No matter your age, diagnosis, or family background, it's a living field ready for your guidance. Treat your body like a student. Teach it, encourage it, and watch how it responds. Everything you say leaves an imprint on your nervous system. Each word you speak sends a signal inside your body. This isn't just a spiritual idea. Today's medical science is proving it. When you repeat something, your brain turns that into electrical signals. These signals affect your glands, your blood vessels, and the organs in your body. That's why someone shouting in anger can spike their blood pressure right away, while a person calmly repeating a peaceful prayer can instantly lower their heart rate. Each word is a command to your body's own inner lab. Words carry vibrations that have real biochemical effects. What you think of as just a saying can actually impact you physically. If someone keeps saying things like, "This makes me sick," or "That gives me chills," they're unknowingly triggering responses in their body that mirror those feelings. If these negative phrases become habits, the body can start responding that way permanently. It upsets hormonal balance. The adrenal glands react to stress as if it were an actual threat. The liver responds to anger, the stomach to fear, and the skin reacts to shame. Your body translates everything you say, both inside and out, into its own chemistry. This is why Jesus' teachings hold such significance. It's not just about morals. There's real clinical value here. When it's said, "By your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned," it's not a threat from above. It's an observation about how our words impact our bodies. There's a deep connection between our thoughts, our words, and how our glands function. Think of something beautiful, and your brain sends out waves that boost happiness hormones like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. These hormones help you sleep better, digest food, strengthen your immune system, and clear your mind. When you express gratitude, kindness, or faith, your hypothalamus reads those words as signs of safety. This activates your parasympathetic system, allowing your body to relax and heal. On the flip side, negative words, even accidentally, can raise cortisol levels, weaken your immune system, and lead to inflammation. Your daily talk can act like medicine or poison based on your choices. Take the story of Ricardo, a young guy with chronic gastritis. He had tried many medications, but nothing worked long term. During our chat, he kept saying things like, "This blows up my stomach," or "I swallow my anger." I told him those phrases were like giving his body an acid injection, and it took them literally. I suggested he put his hands on his stomach whenever he felt pain and repeat, "My stomach is calm. My digestion is perfect. I peacefully process everything I experience. I release, I flow, I harmonize." At first, he thought it was silly, but he decided to give it a go. 2 weeks later, he felt a lot better, and within a month, he stopped taking antacids. It wasn't his diet that changed, but his self-talk. His body wasn't acting on faith, it was responding to what he said physiologically. The old words that stirred up negative emotions were replaced with healing ones. Language is powerful because it channels our attention, and where our attention goes, that's where the healing energy flows. If you focus on a specific organ with a repeated phrase, it reacts. That's why prayers aimed at certain body parts can create real change. What we call a placebo is just a form of verbal faith, and that faith works chemically. When a person prays, "My heart is strong," they're tapping into that power. The body beats with a perfect rhythm. It's sending a message that the parasympathetic nervous system understands as a command for heart harmony. What follows isn't magic. It's the body's way of self-regulating in response to your thoughts. This idea doesn't dismiss traditional medicine. It actually works alongside it. Sometimes, medication can help manage symptoms, but words can heal the root issues. A person might take anti-anxiety meds for years without recovering, but if they shift their internal dialogue, they could balance their system naturally. Words activate connections in the brain that change how the body reacts. When you use positive words, they encourage healing. If you say them confidently, they can transform you. When you express them with feeling, they can bring healing. That's why it's essential to watch not just what you think, but also what you say. What you voice becomes biochemistry and shapes your physical condition. A 40-year-old woman once told me she had terrible migraines. I asked her how she talked about herself. She said, "I'm a ticking time bomb." That phrase had conditioned her nervous system to tighten up under stress. I encouraged her to try a different phrase. "I am an open field at peace. Energy flows through me like a calm river." After 3 weeks, her migraines lessened. After 2 months, they were gone. This wasn't just wishful thinking. It was real change in brain chemistry from consistent language. Your body is like a lab. It doesn't run wild. It responds to the head chemist, your thoughts. Words in their essence are vibrations. The body interprets these sounds. Using kind words prompts the release of endorphins. Negative words lead to adrenaline. You decide the chemical mix based on your inner dialogue. That's why prayer is more than a religious practice. It's a biochemical process. When you say, God is in me and his health flows through me, you alter the chemical makeup of your blood, sending a new message to every cell. No organ is oblivious to prayer. No tissue can ignore the energy of your words. Every system reacts to what you tell yourself. People often seek pills for relief, not realizing they're consuming words that harm them. They repeat phrases passed down to them. People often think negative words about defeat, sadness, or self-doubt, and then they're shocked when their bodies react the same way. But if they start using positive, uplifting words focused on health, happiness, and freedom, their bodies can change just as quickly, but in a better way. Emotions like anger, fear, and resentment create disease, while feel-good hormones like dopamine and serotonin nourish health. You can choose your path by what you say and think. Say this with me. My words are medicine. My tongue helps create health. Everything I say brings good to my body. Make this mantra part of your daily routine. Say it when you wake up. Repeat it while you walk. Use your words like tools of light, bringing peace and wisdom to your life. You don't need to wait for something outside to change. The real miracle lies in your voice. Every day, there's a special moment when your subconscious is ready to listen. It's that in-between time when your mind starts to relax right before sleep. This is what some call the golden hour of the soul. At this moment, whatever you tell your mind can take root. When you sleep, your conscious mind takes a break, but your subconscious keeps working on whatever you told it before you closed your eyes. If you focus on fear, it will keep showing you worries. If you think about being tired, it'll amplify that. But if your last thought is about healing and renewal, your body will treat that as a command and start to heal itself. The key is to use that moment right before sleep with intention. Your subconscious isn't some mysterious entity lurking inside. It's the part of you that manages all your vital functions. It handles everything from hormone balance and digestion to how well you sleep. It doesn't slow down or second guess. It simply goes to work, but it needs clear instructions. That's why what you say as you drift off holds so much power. Those words are commands that your subconscious will act on immediately, without question. This isn't about judging. It's about realizing that our mind at night doesn't work on logic. It runs on the images we feed it. And those images affect our body chemistry, whether we feel energized or sluggish, whether we heal or feel stuck. All depends on what we're thinking. A while back, a nurse who worked nights reached out to me. She was struggling with constant tiredness, headaches, and her immune system just wasn't holding up. Even after long daytime sleep, she felt drained. I asked her what she thought about before going to bed. She said, "I feel broken. My body can't handle this anymore. I wish I could just drift away in my sleep." I suggested that she change her mindset. I recommended a simple prayer to say right before sleeping, just for 3 minutes. She could say, "Now I sleep in peace. The power of God renews me. Every cell fills with light. Every organ regenerates. I wake up strong, healthy, joyful." Though she wasn't totally on board at first, she started doing it consistently. After 2 weeks, she noticed some improvements. 2 months later, she had cut back on her medications, and her energy was back. Nothing outside of her life changed, but everything inside did. She shifted her mindset, and the results followed. No need for complexity, no fancy rituals, no big words. Just a simple phrase spoken with belief before sleep is enough. The body understands that command, and the subconscious gets to work. Nighttime can turn into a healing time. Ancient Hebrews knew this when they sang their psalms at night. Eastern sages recognized it too. Modern science backs it up by showing how our thoughts before sleeping can change brain waves, melatonin levels, and even immune responses. This isn't magic, it's practical spiritual knowledge. What you say at bedtime, your body will act on when you wake. It's important to use positive, present language at night. Saying, "I don't want to be sick" doesn't work because the subconscious misses the don't. If you say, "I don't want pain," it only hears pain. But if you affirm, "I rest," Every part of me relaxes, my head is peaceful, the body gets those signals clearly. The subconscious isn't creative, it obeys. It doesn't question whether a command makes sense, it just follows through. That's why getting this right is crucial. Give clear instructions filled with intention and love. Many people make a big mistake by taking their worries to bed. They think about their debts, their problems, their health issues, and then wonder why they wake up feeling more exhausted or irritable. The answer is simple. Their subconscious has worked all night with a plan for chaos. It was given a script filled with negativity, and it played that role perfectly. But if they change that script, if they consciously start to visualize health, order, and life, their body will respond to that vision. And the results? You can see them, feel them, and confirm them. It doesn't really matter if you believe in spiritual stuff or not. What matters is realizing that your body reacts to strong emotions. Those emotions come from the words you repeat, especially before you go to sleep. I remember a 60-year-old woman who shared with me that ever since she became a widow, she would say, "Why go on?" every night before bed. Just saying that one phrase was enough to drain her immune system. It led to anemia, loss of appetite, and a heavy sense of sadness. I told her not to change everything at once, just that one phrase. I suggested she swap it for "I go on because there is still light. I go on because life needs me. I go on because I heal every night." At first, she cried while repeating it, but she kept going. Her subconscious, like a good child, didn't question her tears. It just followed her words. Months later, she felt her energy returning and found a peace she hadn't experienced in years. It was like her body was tuning in to a voice she never knew she had. That voice is yours. It programs your whole system. When you say it at the right time, it works better than any medication because it comes from within. This voice doesn't just hide symptoms, it gets to the root of the issue. It doesn't block out signals, it changes the causes. That's why bedtime is special. It's when the power shifts from your conscious mind to your inner healer. And that healer follows commands, not intuition. If you command life, it brings life. If you command decay, it brings decay. So turn this time into a health ritual. Choose your words carefully. Repeat them slowly. Close your eyes with gratitude. Picture the light flowing through your body. Talk to your nervous system like it's a friend. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this body. Thank you for the health that gets better while I sleep. Then just pause. Let that message sink in, like planting a seed. Trust that it will grow while you rest. You don't need to figure out how enzymes work or how tissues heal. You just need to give the right command. The body takes care of the rest. God designed us this way. You plant the words, the subconscious listens, and the body changes. The heart isn't just a muscle. It's not just a pump moving blood around like a machine without a soul. It's a receiver, sensitive to your feelings and thoughts. Your heartbeat isn't constant or random. It mirrors your mental state. Every thought, every feeling, every word you say influences your heart's rhythm. If you're scared, your heart knows. If you're angry, your heart feels that. If you're joyful, your heart expresses it in its own way. The heart doesn't need to understand your thoughts. It interprets them differently. It responds with faster beats, slower beats, or harmony. That's why people say the heart knows what words can't say. It connects directly to the subconscious, which reacts to the vibrations of your words and feelings. Over the years, I've gotten many letters from folks who managed to control or even reverse high blood pressure. Not with medication, but through focused prayer, visualization, and specific affirmations. One unforgettable example is Mr. Ray. At 68, he was a retired accountant suffering from severe hypertension for over 10 years. Doctors had given him many drugs, but with mixed results and side effects. Talking with him, I realized he carried a harmful belief. My heart is tired of living. He'd repeated that for years, and it seeped deep into his subconscious, telling it to feel tired. I suggested a completely different approach. I encouraged him to speak to his heart like you would to a child, with love and firmness. Every night he was to put a hand on his chest, close his eyes, and repeat for 5 minutes. My heart beats in peace. My heart has a divine rhythm. I hear the melody of life. Feel the heartbeat and appreciate your loyalty. Thank you for your strength. We're doing well. Picture a metronome ticking softly and steadily. It's not about forcing things. Just contemplate and repeat. After 3 weeks of daily practice, his blood pressure started to stabilize. 3 months under care, and he cut his medication in half. It wasn't magic. It was rhythmic re-education. It was conscious reprogramming. The heart wasn't healed by something outside. It followed new instructions from the subconscious. When he changed how he felt about life, his heart stopped struggling and started dancing to a new rhythm. Here's the important part. The heart doesn't just pump blood. It sends out information. Recent studies show that the heart's electromagnetic field is much stronger than the brain's. This field stretches beyond our bodies, acting like an antenna, picking up emotions and thoughts. Think in anger, and that field gets chaotic. Think in gratitude, and it becomes smooth and coherent. This coherence isn't just a concept. It actually affects blood pressure, how organs get oxygen, digestion, and the immune system. All of this can change for better or worse based on the emotional patterns we hold. And remember, we choose and shape our emotional patterns. That's why visualizing your pulse as a divine metronome works so well. Rhythm, when seen and felt, brings order to chaos. Every night, if you take a few minutes to picture your heart as an instrument harmonized with the universe's music, something shifts inside. Tension fades, anger softens, the body starts syncing to this new beat. This isn't make-believe. It's the power of attention. What you observe with love finds harmony. What you neglect becomes stiff. What you fear gets out of control. That's why we need to reconnect with the heart, not just as a romantic idea, but as a teachable organ, a diligent student of our thoughts. A woman struggling with a racing heart once told me that in moments of anxiety, she'd whisper to herself, "There's no solution. I can't handle this. I'm going to fall apart." Unknowingly, she was hypnotizing her mind with thoughts of defeat. Her subconscious took those messages seriously and acted on them. I encouraged her to change that inner dialogue. Each time she felt pressure or fear, she was scared to put her hand on her chest and say, "I am safe. God is within me. Each beat is love. All is resolved in peace." At first, tears came, but she kept at it. After a few weeks, those anxious moments began to fade. Most importantly, she started to trust her heart like never before. "Now I feel it protects me," she shared. This wasn't just a mystical idea, it was a real change. Her heart had stopped feeling like a victim and started acting like a friend. Many people mistakenly think the heart is a slave to genetics or fate. But that's not true. The heart is flexible, not in shape, but in how it vibrates. You can teach it to beat calmly. You can train it not to react to the chaos around you. You can help it welcome joy like medicine. Each time you hear your heartbeat, instead of fearing it, send it love. If it speeds up, don't resist it. Instead, talk to it. Say, "I'm with you, we're in this together, all is well." Breathe, let it flow, and let go. The heart doesn't need a lot of words, it just needs honesty, consistency, and guidance. Give it that, and it will respond. Right now, visualize your pulse. Close your eyes if you can. See it from within, not as just a biological thing, but as a sacred drum marking your journey on this earth. Every heartbeat is a reminder that you exist. Each pulse quietly declares, "I am alive, I am here, I am loving." Make this a nightly practice. Trade news, fears, and stress for 5 minutes of listening to your inner self. A heart that is listened to will react. A heart that is loved will align. A heart that is guided can heal. And when you doubt its strength, remember, it was the first organ to form in the womb. It was the first to beat. Before your mind could think, your heart already knew it wanted to live. That desire still waits for your guidance. Talk to it, thank it, train it. When we feel fear, shame, or pressure, our breathing becomes shallow, blocked, and tense. Over time, our body gets used to this pattern, thinking it's normal. But guess what? What you've learned can be unlearned. Negative thoughts can be replaced with positive ones. Your lungs are listening, and they take in what you say. That's why our focus here is on how to breathe words. It's not just a figure of speech, it's an actual technique. Breathing words means matching your breath with affirmations, images, or uplifting emotions. It's about teaching your lungs that each breath brings in life, and every exhale lets go of carbon dioxide, bad thoughts, and stuck feelings. Air isn't just air, it carries energy. When you breathe with intention and awareness, air turns into medicine. Let me tell you about a young woman who struggled with asthma since she was a teenager. She was always on edge, her inhaler always nearby. She even slept sitting up, constantly anxious. I asked her what she said to herself during these attacks. She said, "I'm suffocating. I can't breathe. I can't take it anymore." I explained that saying this in a panic had trained her body to shut down whenever she felt air was a threat. It was like her body said, "If air hurts you, let's block it out." So I suggested a complete change in her self-talk. I asked her to try a breathing exercise with affirmations. Inhale while thinking, "Life enters me." Exhale while saying, "I am safe." Inhale, "Light fills me." Exhale, "I release fear." At first, her breathing was unsteady, but after a few days, she noticed a shift. Within weeks, she could walk without gasping for air. A month later, her asthma attacks became rare, her relationship with breathing transformed, and so did her body. This idea isn't new. Ancient traditions understand it well. In Genesis, breath symbolizes life. It says, "The Lord God formed man from the dust and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life." From the start, breath connects the physical and the spiritual. When you breathe, you're not just filling your body with oxygen, you're affirming your existence. Each inhale says, "I am alive." Each exhale can help you let go of what no longer benefits you. If your usual thoughts keep pulling you down, life can feel suffocating. It's like I can't breathe easy. The message my mind sends is all about tightening up. My lungs obey, not out of spite, but simply because that's how they're wired. The only way to break that cycle is to create a new one. This new approach has to connect breath with words, body with belief, and biology with intention. Breathing with words is a straightforward but powerful practice. You don't need fancy equipment, special locations, or even specific outfits. All it takes is a willingness to dedicate just 5 to 10 minutes, morning and night. Sit or lie down, close your eyes, and breathe while focusing on some positive phrases. Choose ones that promote openness, protection, and life. For example, you can say, inhale peace, exhale tension, inhale health, exhale fear, inhale light, exhale darkness, inhale God, exhale doubt. When you connect these phrases with your breath, your nervous system starts to see them as commands to relax. This helps your body slow down, release calming hormones, and open up your lungs. Most importantly, it creates a new memory in your body. There's a story of a middle-aged man who struggled with anxiety. For years, he felt like he couldn't get enough air and always had a tight chest, with no medical reason for it. When I introduced him to breathwork with words, he was skeptical at first, but he agreed to give it a shot without changing anything else in his life. I asked him to repeat a simple phrase for 10 days. Inhale, "I am at peace." Exhale, "I am whole." By day 8, his wife noticed his nighttime breathing was deeper, he seemed calmer, and his posture had improved. By week 3, his anxiety attacks had cut in half, and by week 5, his body had learned to breathe differently. It turns out, words really can heal. Our lungs react faster to thoughts than any other organ. They're in tune with our emotions, responding within moments. That's why panic attacks often start with breathlessness. When the mind senses a threat, it triggers a fight or flight response, changing how we breathe. If that pattern continues, it becomes our new normal. But if we interrupt it with awareness, guided breath, and deliberate words, we can find balance and help our lungs open up again. Remember what it feels like to breathe without fear. Picture your lungs as 2 glowing spheres. When you inhale, see them filling up with golden light. And as you exhale, imagine releasing a gray cloud. That's all the stuff you don't need anymore. Repeat some simple phrases along with this. Thank you for the air, thank you for life, and thank you for this moment. It doesn't have to be complicated, it just needs to flow. Every time you do this, you teach your lungs to connect breathing with joy instead of anxiety. When your mind sees air as a gift, your body responds like a garden welcoming rain. It opens up, stretches out, and blossoms. Your lungs aren't just organs. They're sacred spaces where life's energy moves in and out. Talk to them, and they'll listen. If you bless them, they will open. Fill them with positive thoughts, and they'll bring you calm. Stop saying things like, "I can't breathe." Instead say, "Divine breath flows through me." Don't say, "Life suffocates me." Instead, proclaim, "Each breath connects me to peace." Change your words, and your breathing will shift. Change your breathing, and your life will transform. The spine is your body's support system. It's the inner tower that holds you up. It's a bridge connecting everything. This isn't just about structure. It's also about your energy, emotions, and thoughts. When someone bends under life's pressures, it's more literal than you might think. The spine pays attention to our inner dialogue. It listens, records emotions, and turns beliefs into tension or flexibility. Living with guilt, your spine might curve forward. Feeling defensive, your upper back tightens. Carrying too many burdens, those lower back muscles can get inflamed. This isn't random. It's how our bodies work. When the subconscious hears, "I can't handle this," or "this is breaking me," it sends signals to the nervous system. And the nervous system communicates by tightening your back muscles. That's why fixing your spine doesn't start with a massage or surgery. It starts with changing your words. It begins by reprogramming your inner posture, not the way you stand or sit, but something deeper. How you approach life matters. If you see existence as a struggle, your spine will mirror that. If you think of yourself as weak, your vertebrae will slump. But when your thoughts are strong and your inner voice promotes order, your spine will stand tall with strength and openness. Your body pays attention. It learns from your mindset, just like any part of you does. Take, for example, a 45-year-old architect who came to me with lower back pain that had haunted him for over 6 years. He tried everything: physiotherapy, acupuncture, stretches, but nothing seemed to work. During our chat, he made a telling remark: "I feel like the whole weight of my family is on my back." I told him that's exactly what his spine was picking up on. I compared it to architecture. Imagine a cathedral that falls apart because its design was flawed. Your body is like that cathedral, and you're the one sketching the plans with your thoughts every day. I recommended a daily exercise. Picture your spine as a strong, golden column, tall, bright, and unyielding. Each morning, he should sit up straight, close his eyes, and say aloud, "My spine is strong, it's firm, it's flexible. It's the spine of God within me. Nothing bends it, nothing burdens it, nothing crushes it. It is free." I encouraged him to visualize each vertebra as a shining block of light. After just 2 weeks, his pain had greatly decreased. In 2 months, his posture improved, and he moved more comfortably. Not because he turned gold into bone, but because he replaced the idea of a heavy burden with a vision of divine strength. The body followed his lead. Your spine is more than just a collection of bones. It's a core part of your energy. It channels not only nerve signals, but also your mental energy. Eastern philosophies talk about this as energy channels, while Western science refers to it as the spinal cord. But the bottom line is the same. What happens in your mind shows up in your back. If you're emotionally weighed down, your body will feel that too. That's why it's vital to shift your mindset about your spine, not as something that bears weight, but as a strong, sacred support. Think of your body as a strong, noble structure. Imagine a tall column, the kind that supports something grand above it. I once spoke with a woman who had taken care of her sick mother for years. After a decade of support, she started feeling stent pain in her lower back and neck. She said something striking: "I'm everyone's support, but no one helps me. It's tearing me apart." When I asked her about how she viewed her body, she said it felt like an old, worn-out wooden beam. I suggested she swap that image for something else, a solid, white marble column that can't be broken. Every night, I encouraged her to picture her spine as that smooth, shining column, with the divine weight resting on top. And I asked her to repeat a simple phrase: "I release every burden that's not mine. My spine is clean, free, and straight. The Holy Spirit holds me from within." After 40 days, her pain lessened. She didn't have to carry that burden anymore because her mind finally stopped accepting it. It's common for people to take on emotional weights that aren't theirs to bear. That stress translates into muscle spasms and tightness. When your soul feels tensed, your back reacts. If your mindset gives up, your posture crumbles. But the flip side is equally true. When your mind stands strong, when your soul finds freedom, your back straightens up again. And this strength doesn't come from outside help. It comes from inside you. Your spine hears what you say. It lines up when you believe you deserve to stand tall. It heals when you choose to walk free of other people's expectations. Imagine your spine as a vibrant column of gold, not just pretty, but alive and strong. Each vertebra represents a letter in your life story. Each disc is a purposeful pause. Each segment is supported by wisdom beyond you. Speak it clearly. I do not carry, I do not endure, I do not bend. I stand with dignity, I am a sacred column. By repeating this kind of affirmation daily with visualization, you can really transform your posture, relieve pain, reduce inflammation, and improve mobility. Your spine isn't just a victim of age, it reflects the image you hold of it. And you can change that image whenever you choose. Many people wait for their bodies to straighten up, but don't shift their mindset. Your mind shapes your reality. It's like expecting a crooked house to stand straight without fixing its foundation. The good news? You can rebuild that foundation with new thoughts, positive words, and a higher vision. Just like gold, you can rise above. Now let's talk about your skin. It's the largest organ you've got and acts as a barrier between you and the world. It's the living boundary that shows how you feel inside and translates your emotions to the outside. Your skin doesn't just react to touch, it reflects your feelings, stress, and how you see yourself. Many think skin issues are only about cleanliness or genetics, but that misses a key truth. Your skin truly responds to your inner state, not just symbolically, but physically. Conditions like eczema, hives, rashes, and acne can stem from emotional triggers that the subconscious mind translates into skin issues. Your skin is more than just a covering. It's a canvas where your inner self projects its struggles. The subconscious doesn't keep secrets. It reveals conflicts, whether through words, images, dreams, pain, or illness. With skin issues, it often ties back to feelings of identity, connection, or self-esteem. If someone is uncomfortable in their own skin, that discomfort often shows up on the surface. Someone who feels attacked, dirty, exposed, or unworthy might develop skin conditions that directly mirror those feelings. The body doesn't create random symbols. It reacts based on what you believe. This is why your skin can be seen as a reflection of your consciousness. It listens and reacts to your self-perception. I remember a young woman who had psoriasis since she was 13. Her skin had red patches, especially on her arms and neck. She tried creams, steroids, UV light, and special diets. Some treatments worked for a while, but the flare-ups always came back. When I asked her how she felt when she looked in the mirror, she said without hesitation, repulsion. Then I asked what she thought about her body when she woke up each day. She simply said, I think my body is. She felt like nobody would love her because she looked sick. I pointed out that her subconscious was playing a negative script affecting her skin, the most visible part of her body. Her body wasn't letting her down, it was just following a mental pattern. I recommended a daily practice of visualization and self-affirmation. Each morning she should look in the mirror, put her hands on the troubled areas and say, this skin is sacred, this skin is clean, this skin is my divine garment. Only light lives here. I am pure, I am worthy, I am new. I also encouraged her to picture her skin as a smooth, soft white fabric soaking up golden light with every breath. At first it was tough for her. She repeated the words without really believing them. But over time, as she kept at it, those images began to calm her emotions. And as her emotional state settled, her body started to heal. After 3 months, her outbreaks had dropped by 80%. It wasn't denial, it was a new perspective. Her subconscious absorbed a fresh narrative, which then showed up on her skin. Modern medicine is starting to recognize that our skin reacts to stress. It can flare up when our nervous system is overactive and can release histamine when we're anxious. But the next step is realizing that our inner dialogue can change these reactions, not just with empty phrases, but with consistent affirmations that deliver a new message. When thoughts shift, the body system responds. Relax that system, and the skin mirrors that change with softness, renewal, and real healing. Skin cells are always renewing, but how they do it is influenced by the information they get, which is mainly mental. A middle-aged woman with eczema on her hands and face shared that every time she had to voice her opinions, new spots would pop up. Delving deeper, we found out that since childhood, she'd been conditioned to believe that speaking out was dangerous, that being visible was wrong, expressing herself was indecent. That belief, built up over years, created a subconscious link between visibility and punishment. Her skin reacted like an alarm. I'm being seen, so I need to hide. I suggested a new prayer aimed at her subconscious. I am safe when I express myself. My face radiates peace. My skin shines with truth. I have nothing to hide. I am seen with love. Stand in front of the mirror and practice calm breathing. Picture your face surrounded by a warm, white light, like you're wrapped in a cloak of purity. Over the next few weeks, you'll notice a boost in confidence, and your skin will start to change. Your body won't feel the need to guard you anymore because the inner threat is gone. This doesn't mean ditch your doctor. Instead, it means you can introduce a higher purpose alongside your medical treatments by shifting your mindset. If you don't change the old narrative, your body will keep replaying it like a movie. But when you revise that story, when you bring in a fresh image or a positive thought, your skin will respond like a canvas starting to clear up. Your skin won't resist, it's just waiting for new directions. Here's a simple exercise. Whenever you wash your face, your hands, or use cream, repeat a short affirmation. Say things like, "I am clean inside," or "This skin is renewing." Make it heartfelt. Don't just say it robotically. Imagine you're speaking to each cell, wiping away old messages and setting a new story in motion. Repeat this for several days without getting hung up on quick results. Your subconscious craves consistency, not pressure. Once it recognizes the new message is steady, it will start to replace the old belief, not out of randomness, but out of obedience. Your skin wants to share something. If you pay attention, it'll tell you its story. Change your internal dialogue, and your external reality will shift. It really isn't complicated. It's the law of correspondence. What's inside reflects out. What's hidden comes to light. What's feared shows itself, and what's loved heals. That's why your skin deserves a fresh narrative, a new script, a bright light. Blood is not just any liquid. It's a messenger of consciousness. It carries oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and emotions, a river flowing through all your organs, bringing not just chemical compounds, but the energy of your beliefs. Your repeated thoughts affect things like blood pressure. Your consistent feelings change how thick, fast, and well your blood flows. You can't disconnect your mind from your circulatory system because every heartbeat is influenced by what you're thinking. Blood is anything but neutral. It reacts to your mental chatter and subconscious commands. When you feel fear or hold back your emotions, your body gets the message. This can lead to a tightening of blood vessels and issues down the road, like high blood pressure, poor circulation, varicose veins, or irregular heartbeats. But it all starts with a simple command, and guess what? You can change that command. Blood needs to move freely. It craves space, direction, and a rhythm. If you're stuck in rigid thoughts, holding on to emotions or guilt, your circulation suffers. The flow slows down. You start feeling tired, not because you're old, but because your mind is holding back your energy. Many folks with cold feet, numbness, or fluctuating blood pressure don't necessarily need medication. Instead, they need a mental reset. Their blood hasn't stopped working. It just isn't getting the right message. That message is to flow, share joy, and nourish without hurdles. When the subconscious takes in that message with confidence, the veins and arteries will follow because blood is responsive. Take this 50-year-old woman I worked with. She was always exhausted, her legs felt heavy, and she had headaches now and then. Doctors found nothing wrong, but her energy was low. In our conversation, I noticed a pattern in her thinking. She kept saying things like, "Nothing is moving forward," and "I feel trapped." I pointed out that her words matched her symptoms. Her blood wasn't flowing because her mind was stuck. So I gave her a specific affirmation to repeat. My blood is a living river. My life moves. I flow, I circulate, I advance. I asked her to say it 3 times a day while going for a 10-minute walk, picturing her body as bright red rivers filled with light, bringing joy to every cell. Within weeks, her energy began to return, not because the walking was special, but because she was now envisioning herself in a freeing way. It's vital to know that how we think affects our blood circulation. When your mind is open to new ideas and positive thoughts, your body reflects that openness with better blood flow. But if you shut off, cling to outdated thinking, or hold in emotions for years, it's like a traffic jam on the highway. You get congestion and pressure. That's how many heart-related issues develop. They don't just start when the doctor says so. They begin when our spirit gets stuck. But guess what? That stiffness can be changed. When our thoughts become flexible, life flows back in. Letting go of anger allows blood to move more freely. When we stop trying to control everything, the pressure eases. Not because we're working hard, but because our subconscious isn't following that tension anymore. A man once shared that he struggled with mild high blood pressure. He felt this constant urge to control every little thing. That mindset kept him on high alert all the time. His heartbeat was tied to his tension, and his blood was under pressure too. I gave him a simple phrase to say, "My blood flows with confidence. Nothing threatens me. I'm surrounded by divine order." He also visualized his body as a glowing network, flowing with calm, red energy. With this shift, he started to feel different, and his blood pressure began to drop. It wasn't hypnosis, it was freedom. His subconscious received a new message, and his body listened. Remember, our bodies aren't just reacting randomly. Blood doesn't thicken for no reason. It doesn't stop on its own or create issues without a cause. It responds to the signals we send it day in and day out from our nervous system, all controlled by our thoughts. If you keep saying, "This makes me so angry, it's boiling my blood, I can't handle this," you're training your body to react with tension and stress. But if you start declaring, "My blood is flowing calmly, I'm a source of well-being, everything moves in harmony within me," then things change. It's not magic. It's about aligning with a higher mindset, and your subconscious will respond to that stronger feeling. You can try this exercise whenever you need to. Close your eyes for a few minutes and picture your blood as a bright red river flowing through you. Imagine it starting in your heart like a fresh spring and spreading joy, nourishment, and oxygen to every part of your body. While you do this, quietly repeat, "I unleash the red current." Nothing is stuck, everything moves. I am life in circulation. With this, you're sending a clear command to your subconscious. You're swapping out old, tight thoughts for a vision of freedom, programming both your blood and your spirit to flow easily. Your thoughts hold power. When your mind and body work together, good health follows. Remember, when your mind stagnates, your body does too. The soul's flow affects your body's flow. The key is to command, visualize, and declare what you want. Your blood, like all your organs, doesn't argue. It listens. Speak clearly, truthfully, and keep at it, and your body will respond. Every gland in your body acts like a broadcasting station. They don't just churn out chemicals on autopilot, they reflect your inner state. The thyroid, adrenals, pituitary, pancreas, thymus, gonads, they all pay attention. They absorb and obey the emotions and thoughts you consistently send out. Think of them as your hidden allies or tired workers, depending on the messages you give them each day. These glands do vital work. They manage your metabolism, energy, stress, and they shape what you believe is possible. Your body adjusts to your main beliefs, and the glands, right at the heart of this system, respond directly to what you declare inside. Let's talk about the thyroid. It sits at the base of your neck and controls how your body uses energy. But it also symbolizes your right to express yourself, to be seen, and to move through life freely. Many people with chronic low thyroid function share a common story. They've felt silenced, ignored, or learned to stay quiet to get by. Conversely, others with thyroid issues may feel a rush of thoughts, always trying to prove themselves, and face anxiety about performance. In both cases, the gland listens to emotional commands. It doesn't malfunction for no reason. It simply obeys. I once spoke with a 38-year-old woman suffering from autoimmune hypothyroidism. From a young age, she learned not to disturb others, not to speak too much, and not to ask for much. Her voice was soft, her pace slow, and she often felt fatigued. I pointed out that her gland had gotten the message. Don't move. Don't take up space. It was time to replace that message with something new. I offered her a powerful affirmation. My voice is valid. My body deserves good energy. Divine wisdom guides my thyroid. I suggested she say this out loud every morning, placing her hand over her throat while taking deep breaths and picturing a bright blue light glowing there. After 40 days, her hormone levels noticeably improved. Why? Because the body always listens to new messages and adapts as needed. Now, let's talk about the adrenal glands. These little guys sit on top of the kidneys and manage your stress response. They release cortisol, adrenaline, and other chemicals to prepare you for danger. But living in constant stress, full of worry, guilt, or dread, keeps these glands on high alert. They start pumping out hormones like you're always under attack. The result? You feel tired, can't sleep, are anxious, and struggle with digestion. In serious cases, you hit total exhaustion, which we call adrenal fatigue. It might not show up in regular medical tests, but your body knows. It never lies. I once talked to a man with chronic fatigue syndrome. Every morning he woke up feeling like he was in survival mode. His go-to phrase was, "I have to endure no matter what." I asked him, "What if you didn't have to fight?" He looked confused. I gave him a healing prayer for his stressed glands. "I am safe. Nothing is after me. Divine energy restores me. My glands rest and find balance." He was to repeat this upon waking at midday and before bed while putting his hands on his lower back. This, combined with some quiet moments throughout the day, began to shift his energy. After 2 months, his energy doubled. When your subconscious hears, "Enough with the fight," your body calms down and finds equilibrium. You don't need to be an expert in physiology to start the healing process. Just remember this: your glands listen. They don't ask why or seek answers. They respond to the main message, whether you say it out loud or think it. If the message is "I'm alone," the adrenals stay on high alert. If it's "I'm out of time," the thyroid hurries up. If it's "life is too much," the pancreas struggles to keep pace. But if you flip that script, when you say, "I am harmony, time is on my side, life supports me," then your whole hormonal system starts to shift because your biology is always tuned in. Your body doesn't act randomly. It follows instructions, and your voice gives those instructions. Let's try a quick exercise. Close your eyes for a minute. Place your right hand on your neck and your left hand on your lower back. Breathe slowly. Imagine speaking directly to your endocrine system and say, "Thank you, thyroid, for managing my energy so well. Thank you, adrenals, for keeping me safe and for resting when the danger is gone. I do not burn out. I renew myself. I am an endless source of energy." Do this daily for at least 20 days. Don't expect quick results. Consistency is what your subconscious recognizes as true. Saying something once without feeling isn't enough, but repeating it with conviction every day is powerful. Your body listens and will respond. Your glands are like hidden treasures within you. They're crucial for your health and vitality, affecting your mood, creativity, and life energy. How they function greatly depends on what you believe is normal. If you believe in chaos, they get stuck in emergency mode. If you believe in peace, they find balance. If you believe in divine order, they align with your true self. They were designed to support you, not to harm you. They're ready and waiting for you to boldly declare the kind of life you want to live. Now let's talk about pain. It's not something out of your control. Pain is a signal, a message from your body indicating something is off. But just like any message, it can be understood and managed. Many people make the mistake of thinking pain must be accepted passively or feared. But there's evidence showing that physical pain can be reduced, neutralized, or even silenced with the right focus, words, and subconscious suggestions. This doesn't mean you ignore pain. It means you recognize that its strength isn't set in stone. When your subconscious is well trained, it can act like a mental pain relief system, blocking or lessening the feeling of pain without needing medications. The secret lies in taking control, not surrendering to what your body tells you. Your nervous system responds to what your subconscious believes. If it thinks a procedure will hurt, it'll heighten your sensitivity. If it thinks you're safe, it relaxes. You can lessen the feeling of pain. This isn't some complicated theory. It's practical science. Doctors, dentists, and surgeons have seen many cases where people, through guided hypnosis or conscious training, have managed to get through tooth extractions, minor surgeries, or even more invasive treatments without any chemical anesthetics. In every instance, there's a common theme. The person swaps out fear for clear mental guidance supported by a solid emotional image. As a result, the body holds back pain signals, releases endorphins, and makes it possible for the procedure to happen without suffering. This has been witnessed in hospitals, on battlefields, in communities without modern medicine, and even in the serene spaces of those who practice scientific prayer. There was a young woman who needed 3 wisdom teeth pulled. She reached out to me because she wanted to avoid traditional anesthesia after a serious allergic reaction in the past. I suggested a method of mental reprogramming that she could start 5 days before the procedure. Each night, for 20 minutes, she would lie down, close her eyes, focus on her jaw, and repeat to herself, "This area is asleep. There is no pain, only pressure. I am safe. All is peace." She was also to visualize her jaw wrapped in a veil of white light, like a cloud of divine anesthesia enveloping her nerves. During the procedure, she silently repeated the same phrases. She only felt a bit of pressure. Her body responded to the clear message and stable emotions. This wasn't just blind suggestion, it was functional guidance to her subconscious. This idea isn't limited to medical procedures. It applies to any kind of acute pain. When the body sends a pain signal, it does so because it's trained to see certain triggers as threats. But if that trigger comes with an inner voice offering safety, understanding, and control, the nervous system alters its reaction. Even young children have shown this. When they hear calming words from trusted figures, they can lessen their perception of pain without needing medication. The key is how the message is delivered. If you talk to your body like it's a victim, it tightens up. But if you communicate as a guide, a protector, or an internal adult giving clear commands, the body works with you. That teamwork leads to less pain. A man from Argentina reached out to share how he handled a painful neuralgia attack that left him unable to move for hours. Instead of freaking out or reaching for painkillers, he took a seat, took some deep breaths, and started repeating to himself, "This body is mine. This signal softens. This area is calm. All is well." He kept this up for half an hour without moving, picturing the painful spot surrounded by cool, soothing light. Before long, the pain started to fade. It didn't go away completely, but it eased enough for him to relax and get some sleep. Remarkably, the pain didn't come back the next day. It's not that the technique is some kind of magic trick. It's more about how powerful the mind can be when trained. This practice isn't new. Tibetan monks have used it for centuries, and yogis have taught it too. New Thought ideas also back this up. The mind really does control sensation. It's not about pretending that pain isn't real. It's about learning how to lessen its intensity using the power of your own words. Each time you repeat a soothing phrase, you're lowering the emotional charge that makes the pain feel worse. You're activating your body's relaxation response. When your brain gets the message that there's no real danger, your entire body can relax and find its balance. You can start this today with a simple routine. Whenever you feel any discomfort, no matter how small, instead of exaggerating it with thoughts like, "This is unbearable, I can't handle this," pause for a moment. Say to yourself, "I am safe, the sensation is easing, I am in control, divine power numbs this area." Then take a deep breath and visualize light surrounding the painful area. Hold that image for a few minutes. By doing this repeatedly, day after day, you're training your subconscious to react as if you've taken a sedative, only this one is made by your own body. This isn't about thinking you'll never need a doctor again. It's about realizing you have an inner resource that can work alongside any treatment, making it more effective and easing your pain. Pain is part of the body's warning system, sure, but it isn't unbeatable. It doesn't have to control you. It's just a signal, and with your inner voice, you can communicate with it, adjust its strength, and even change how it shows up. Your mind has incredible power. Your words hold the key. Pain starts to fade when you speak your truth, fearlessly and with confidence. Forgiveness isn't just about being moral or having a good attitude. It's actually a powerful way to heal, with effects that can be felt in your body right away. When you don't deal with emotions, your body reacts strongly, and resentment is one of the worst feelings. It's not just a sin, it creates a toxic emotional space that disrupts your body's systems. Resentment doesn't just stay in your head. It seeps into your bloodstream, builds up in tissues, clings to organs, and can lead to issues like ulcers, irritable bowel syndrome, chronic inflammation, muscle tension, migraines, or autoimmune diseases. Your body remembers what your mind won't let go of. That's why we need to think of forgiveness as part of our physical healing. When the subconscious gets a message to hold on to pain and not forgive, it thinks you need to keep protecting that wound. The body's go-to defense is inflammation. That's why some people live with ongoing inflammation without any clear medical reason, all while holding on to grudges against parents, ex-partners, bosses, or even themselves. What we call emotional pain often translates into physical pain because the body is looking for a way out that the mind blocks. Just like a troubled mind gets stuck in a loop of negative thoughts, an unforgiven body turns into an inflamed organ or a blocked system. Your body seeks peace, but it can't find it if you're waging war inside. I remember a 43-year-old sales manager who had constant gastric ulcers. He ate well, didn't smoke or drink too much, and tried treatments that only gave temporary relief. The issue always came back. Through our talks, we found out he held deep resentment towards his father for over 10 years because of verbal abuse during his teenage years. He claimed, "I got over it. It doesn't bother me anymore." But his body told a different story. It kept showing that pain in his gastric tissues because the subconscious doesn't just wipe away memories because you've reasoned them out. It needs a real release. I suggested a forgiveness exercise he could do each night. He was instructed to lie down, place a hand on his stomach, and say, "I release this burden. I forgive. I let go. This ulcer is just an echo of a memory I don't need anymore. Love flows in now. The fire goes out, and peace takes its place." He did this for 10 minutes, visualizing a cool light streaming from his throat down to his stomach. After 20 days, his acidity issues lessened. By day 40, studies showed real improvement. His inner voice shifted from resentment to understanding, and his body stopped reacting with inflammation. This idea isn't new. Jesus said, "Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us." When we break that down, it means forgiveness isn't just for others. It's a choice we make to free ourselves from the health effects of resentment. Holding on to grudges puts stress on the body. It speeds up the heartbeat, messes with digestion, weakens immunity, and blocks healing. But when we choose to forgive, we reduce tension, improve our breathing, boost serotonin, and relax our organs. Our bodies can function like they should. It's not about excusing wrongs. It's about cutting off the inner fuel for pain. You can practice forgiveness even if you don't feel it deeply. Just saying things like, "I forgive you, I forgive myself, all is well," can start shifting your subconscious. The subconscious responds to consistent messages rather than quick emotions. If you repeat a forgiveness prayer every day, your nervous system starts to see that as a command and will adjust how your body works. You'll stop making cortisol from long-term anger. Your body will start producing protective substances again. Inflammation will go down and your immune system will realign, not by magic, but because your body is following a new mental lead. A woman once shared her struggle with chronic joint pain. She had been holding on to anger towards herself for years after an abortion, something she had never told anyone. No one was judging her but herself. I suggested she start a self-liberation practice. Every morning, she would put her hands on her knees and say, "I forgive you. It's over. The past has no power. Your body is innocent. Only love is here." She started this journey in tears. Her body held on to the memories, but it chose to stop punishing itself. The inflammation lessened, her movement got better, and her sleep improved. With that came a realization. Forgiveness is more than just a nice idea. It's something that happens in your body. It's not about pointing fingers. It's about recognizing that every negative feeling you cling to comes at a cost to your biology. Forgiveness doesn't just help others, it sets you free. It eases your glands, your tissues, your nervous system, your very cells from a burden they shouldn't have to bear. If you hold on to grudges, your body turns into a battleground. But when you forgive, it transforms into a place of peace. Try this exercise right now. Close your eyes. Put your hands where you feel tightness, your stomach, neck, chest, back, wherever. Say to yourself, "I release this. I forgive. I forgive myself. This part of my body doesn't need to flare up to get my attention. I listen. I release. I heal." Do this every day for a week. Don't wait for forgiveness to feel like a warm, fuzzy emotion. Treat it like an order. Your subconscious doesn't need you to feel all excited. It just needs direction. And remember, peace isn't just a feeling that pops up. It's a state you create. Your body is waiting for you to make that happen. Now think about your cells. They are your body's community, made up of trillions of tiny individuals, each with a job, a memory, and a way to react. They're not just cogs in a machine. They're lively units working together based on what they're told. This direction doesn't come only from what you eat or where you are. It comes, even more so, from your ongoing thoughts. Each cell reacts to what you believe is true. So when we talk about rejuvenation, it's not about magic pills or outside help. It's about improving how your mind talks to your body. When your cells feel valued, loved, and guided well, they work better. But when they're met with neglect, hate, or mixed signals, they struggle, lose their rhythm, and wear down faster. This isn't just a fantasy, it's the essence of conscious biology. Your cells can't tell the difference between a command you say out loud and the ones you think. Your beliefs silently shape your reality. They guide your inner world. So if you constantly think, I'm aging, I'm feeling worse every day, my body just doesn't cooperate, you're sending a message to the countless cells in your body. They receive your instructions to deteriorate. And guess what? They follow those orders. They start acting weaker, conserving less energy, and even triggering degeneration. But here's the good news. You can flip that script. If you change those thoughts to ones filled with gratitude, affirmations, and a vision of regeneration, your cells will pick up on this new message. Their behavior will shift. Rejuvenation isn't about going back to when you were younger. It's about creating a supportive environment for your body to thrive in. An environment that's fueled by peace, energy, and purpose. And you're the one who creates it with every word, every image, every conscious thought. For years, I've shared a simple 30-day plan that's helped countless people regain their vitality, enhance their overall health, and often reverse signs of aging at the cellular level. This plan doesn't replace medical treatments, but complements them by addressing the deepest roots of premature aging, which often stem from emotional issues turning into toxic messages for your cells. Here's the simple idea. For 30 days, establish a routine of connecting with your cells 3 times a day, when you wake up, at lunchtime, and before you sleep. Take a moment to talk to your body clearly and specifically, not just in a symbolic way. Your cells respond to directed speech, and they're ready to hear something uplifting instead of just complaints and negativity. Repeat this core message aloud 3 times daily. Cells of my body, I bless you. Cells of my body, I release you from the past. Each cell is light. Each cell is life. The power of God flows in you. You are renewed, restored, and rejoicing. I am eternal youth in action. I am divine intelligence organizing all. Thank you for your work and for your loyalty. I promise to give you thoughts of love, images of peace, and words of truth. From now on, you will respond only to good. So it is, and so it shall be. As you say this, visualize your body as a brilliant web of light, glowing with gratitude. If you can, place your hands on your chest or abdomen as you do this. If you're feeling tense or worn out, take a slow breath. Don't force anything. Just let the daily practice do its job. By the end of the week, you'll likely feel lighter. After 2 weeks, many people notice better sleep, mood, and digestion. And at the end of 30 days, most folks discover a new energy that comes from steady reprogramming, not from outside changes. It's important to know this isn't about pretending we're not aging or chasing empty fantasies. It's about recognizing that every cell has its own wisdom. This wisdom reacts to the beliefs you choose to establish. If you think aging is unavoidable, if you believe fatigue is the way it must be, then that's what you'll get. But if you choose to believe in renewal and restorative energy, that can become your reality too. Your body reflects your inner voice, and anyone willing to step up can change that voice at any moment. I had a 64-year-old man reach out to me after finishing this program. He shared, I haven't sprouted wings or turned 30 again, but my doctors can't figure out why my test results have improved so much. The only change I made was to thank my cells 3 times a day. That's all it took. He switched from neglecting his body to guiding it with intention. You don't need to know every detail of how your body works to talk to your cells. What you need is respect, consistency, and clarity. You don't have to believe in magic. Just repeat what's real. Every cell is sensitive, every word makes an impact, and every lasting thought changes how your body behaves. Rejuvenation isn't a fantasy if you see it as bringing back natural balance. This balance gets activated through conscious thought, spoken words, and genuine gratitude. Do this for 30 days and then take note of the changes. Don't halt the practice just because you don't get instant results. Stick with it, even if it feels like you're just going through the motions at first. The subconscious operates in deep layers. What feels like repetitive work today will turn into cellular healing tomorrow. Remember, faith isn't always a feeling. Sometimes it simply requires action. When you act as if renewal is a reality, your body recognizes that as truth. It's not meant to decay, it's built to regenerate. So give the command, and you can start right now. Amen.